Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.
Welcome to World Series on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I am Drew Martin, joined by Dave Koken and Brian Power of WagerTalk.com. We are previewing this weekend World Series Game 6, possibly Game 7, going Saturday and Sunday. Got two of the better baseball betting minds in the business alongside to break it down with you. We got Saturday night, guys, game number 6, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here. Philadelphia at Houston. We can see the Astros minus 140 to as high as minus 150, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen as the favorite. Total of 6.5, actually mostly 7s. We are seeing Westgate in Las Vegas posting that 6.5 with juice. 7s pretty much across the board everywhere else. Framber Valdez, the #1 ground ball pitcher in MLB this season, going for the Astros, the lefty, up against Zach Wheeler, who, Dave, come to you first. I know you had him pinned here coming up in this matchup. I'll throw it over to you. What do you think in Saturday night World Series Game 6, Dave?
Well, look, the Phillies had some real good chances to win Game 5 and didn't get it done. And I think they're going to regret that. They're up against a really tough lefty in Framber Valdez, who looked good in his first appearance in this series and he's been so consistent all season long. It's tough to see the Phillies doing a lot of damage against him. On the other side, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think there is something wrong with Zach Wheeler. I've been saying that now for a little bit in this postseason. His velo was down. They're giving him extra rest between starts. Remember, he had a shoulder issue fairly late in the season, went on the injured list, came out of it looking good. But I think there's still an issue there. Plus, he got hit by the batted ball. That might have something to do with it. But right now, I don't think you're getting a 100% Zach Wheeler. And against this Houston lineup, at home, with momentum, I think the Phillies are in trouble here. I like the Astros to wrap things up tomorrow.
All right, in Game 6. Not even need a Game 7 here, Brian. I mean, to Dave's point, up against the Houston lineup, plus the fact this Houston bullpen, people aren't even bringing it up. 8.88 ERA, 51 innings pitched so far this postseason, only 5 earned runs, guys. They've been lights out at the back end as well, Brian. And going back to Houston, what do you think in Game 6 Saturday night, Brian?
Well, Drew, I'm glad you teed me up there because I was going to go right to the bullpens because I think the story of the World Series so far is just how good both bullpens have actually been. Coming into the playoffs, we thought the Phillies bullpen was going to be their albatross, but it's generally been very good as well, especially here in the World Series. Not a ton of scoring in general overall in the 5 games. Since the 5th inning of Game 1, just 25 total runs scored in 40 innings of baseball. And I do concur with Dave that, Houston probably wraps this up in 6 games, but I think one of the most interesting stats of this World Series is that the Astros have scored just 1 run after the 5th inning, the entire series. That was, of course, what turned out to be the difference maker last night in Game 5. So I mentioned in my write-up for Game 5, had the under, that the Astros, they'd only scored a run in 3 of the previous 33 innings going into last night. So so now when they do score, they can score in bunches. Some people call that cluster luck. You call it what you will. The Astros are a good offensive team. We know that. But considering the bullpens and who's on the mound for Game 6, especially Valdez for Houston, I'm probably not betting on a lot of runs being scored Saturday night. It does, if you want the under, I think you do have to examine Wheeler, like Dave said, because the Phillies, they're not as strong at the plate away from home. We know that. They faced Valdez twice in Philly, including the regular season, scored 1 run off of them in 11 1/3 innings, just 6 hits. So Wheeler did not pitch in game 2, and can he do what Aaron Nola failed to do in this series and get back to being his dominant self? I don't know. ERA and WHIP on the road higher than they are at home. So, yeah, Houston's a deserved favorite in this game, and if you like the under, I think it depends on how much faith you have in Wheeler if he doesn't get lit up early on.
I want to jump in with something. I'm not a big live betting advocate. Most people who bet live, by the way, lose. The house does. Let's just say the house does well on live betting. But I would look at this game and see what the velo is for Wheeler early on. If it's still down as it was in his prior appearance in this series, I think the Astros are going to get him. And if it's back to where it normally is, then I would think that that's going to make runs really tough to come by. So you can maybe get a good feel for a live bet on how Wheeler looks in the very first inning.
Sure, yeah. Check his velocity. Anything on that, Brian? I mean, would you look to kind of do the same here with Wheeler?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look back at his first start. Right, it was a World Series first. Gave up 3 extra base hits in game 2. So, yeah. I mean, if he struggles out the gate early, then it's probably all over but the shouting for this baseball season. I expect there to be a quick hook. One thing I liked that Houston did, that Dusty Baker did in game 5, going to the closer. I know he had never done it before, 5 outs, but that was a smart play. So I don't think that, if Wheeler looks poor early on, he's getting pulled quickly. And I mean, it may not make a difference for the Phillies, but I mean, if you want to live bet maybe the under too, could be worth a shot.
Power, Dave Kogan. Guys, huge shout out to the chat box. Ryan in the house, Jimmy as well. Thanks for the props there, Jimmy. It's been a fun first pitch season here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. This is most likely the last first pitch of the season. College basketball betting show will take this time slot going forward for the next couple months. So stay tuned for that, guys. However, if there is a rain out Saturday or Sunday, we might be back on Monday for some more World Series first pitch. So stay tuned for that, guys. We gotta.
They have a roof in Houston, so I don't think you're going to get a rain out.
Good point. I don't know, power outage, something like that. We got some weather going across the country. If you're interested in college football and NFL betting, maybe look out for that, by the way. But hey, Dave Kogan, heard it from him here. Obviously knows his MLB. He's got a 3-game college football card for under $20 going on Saturday. Dave, know your college football, obviously know your MLB as well. What do you got for final thoughts for the show? Final thoughts for the season here, Dave. Any preview you want to take as well? And if you got a best bet, have at it, buddy.
I'm going to go with the Astros. Not a big play. Just an early thought for 2023. Teams that are good at putting the ball in play, that don't strike out a lot, I think they're going to have an advantage because you've got no more shift. You've got larger bases. I think teams that make contact and have speed could be teams that jump out of the starting gate quickly in 2023. Got to be watching spring training games more intently than usual to see what changes teams are making in their approach. And I think that's something to bear in mind once April baseball rolls around.
That's great insight there, Dave. Absolutely, man. And in terms of as a sports bettor, guys, we're always looking for change. In my opinion, that's the best way to win in this business. And we're going to get a rules change. That actually might be the best way to win in this business. Dave, just one follow-up question for you. With the rules changing, do you know how they're going to implement the shift? And is there any other rules that you can think of that might affect the betting markets?
You're going to have 2 guys on each side of second base and at least 1 foot on the infield dirt. So
interesting.
The second baseman or the shortstop playing in middle of right field against the left-handed hitter, not going to see that anymore. It's going to have a big impact. How big, I don't know, but it's going to be a significant change. And the teams that get out of the gate in terms of the right approach, and that's why I'm going to watch the spring training. I'll probably be later than usual with my over and under win props because I want to see how teams are handling these changes in the exhibition games.
Okay. Check them at Dave Koken, WagerTalk.com for that season win total report from Dave Koken. Always a good read there. We got Brian Power as well. Well, first off, Dave Koken, last thing here for him, 3-game college football card under $20. Get that for this weekend. We got Brian Power as well. Number one, last 30 days, WagerTalk.com has a 2-for-1 special going with Adam Trigger. Buy one, get the other handicappers 3-day pass for free. So, Brian, you're obviously seeing it well across all sports this weekend in baseball. Any final thoughts for this season? Any preview towards next season? And you got a best bet for the show?
No best bet, actually, for today. I don't know what. I might actually lay off Game 6. I've won the last 3 games. Feeling pretty good. Had the under in the last 2, first 5 over in Game 3. But I don't know if I like tomorrow that much. Going to what Dave said, just about the making contact, putting the ball in play, a team that did exceptionally well at that this year was Cleveland. So that's,
Yes.
like, obviously, if you do great at that one year, doesn't necessarily guarantee it'll be the next year, but Cleveland was exceptional at doing what Dave was talking about here in 2022. As far as the weekend goes, guys, yeah, feeling pretty good. Number one, last 30 days been pretty kind to us in all sports. You mentioned the buy one, get one special that I'm running with Adam Trigger. The significance of that is I believe we are still 1-2 in football this year. So, Adam, I know that a lot of people follow him. If you've never followed me, this is a great opportunity to try. Flip side, if you follow me, it's a great chance to follow him this weekend. I've got my full college football card up for Saturday, 4 plays total, and I've got a 5%er up in NFL. Swept the 5% plays last weekend. They were exceptionally close. I apologize to everyone for that. Trust me, no one gets more nervous at the end of the games when they're like UCF and Carolina, but we pulled them out last week, and we hope to do that again with the 5% play in the NFL this weekend.
And we got Joel in here and Brian, so some clients are happy there. Brian, we also got James and Gordon as well. Guys, that will do it for the show. Check out Dave Koken, Brian, Pam, Drew. Mark that like button. Have a fun, safe weekend. Feel free to comment below. Cash those tickets.
If you like betting on horses, be sure to check out WagerTalk.com's own Sig, who zeroes on one racetrack at a time, offering his handicapping skills. Visit his homepage daily for his top selection in each race free. If you want all his selections for that track, you can get his full racing report for just $9.